Welcome to episode of 226 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh. Today we have a great house. It's in Wynwood North and it's on Woolsey, and it is an amazing house. You rarely get a house at this finish out with a pool at this price point, so we knew we had to bring it to you.
And in our second segment today, we're going to talk about bringing outdoor space to life. We've talked about how important that is, and we're going to give you some examples of it.
It's a lot of information, and you'll definitely want to stick around for the time-lapse video that we took. It's quite interesting. So how was your weekend, Jeff?
It was good. It was rainy this weekend. It was funny because somebody had tweeted to Pete Delkus, "Where's all the rain you've been talking about?" And his response to everybody was, "It's been raining at my house all day."
That's funny.
But that was really about all. I putz around the yard and stuff like that.
That's awesome. I actually showed on Friday afternoon. It's quite interesting because the house had come on the market and it was day zero. That's what we call it in MLS, the first day. And we were there, and it was a very narrow window that we could actually book. And there were people there when we got there, and there were people waiting when we left.
Crazy.
There's a lot going on right now.
It is. We'll have to, next week we'll talk about market stats, because I think it's really interesting. We do the market watch, which compares week to week,
right?
But I think we need to do a little year over year compared to 2023 versus 2022, and talk about inventory.
Yes, because I keep waiting for that bump of inventory. We've got multiple buyers, and we've told everybody, "Hey, that inventory's coming. Hey, that inventory's coming." And I'm like, "I know it's coming, right?
You're right.
It's coming, isn't it?"
So
without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in, talk about Market Watch.
Okay, this is Market Watch we do weekly. This is everything in the last 7 days in Dallas County. We start off with coming soon, which is a status that you don't have to use an MLS, but if you do any advertising on the property, you've got to put it in here. Those coming soon listings are down about 6% from last week. There were still 76 coming soons. New active listings were down about 5%, and that is 415 new active listings coming in Dallas County. And option periods are up about 3%. There were 390 contracts that went together last week. Everybody came to agreement on terms, and it's that option period, that little period where buyers get to do their inspections and just make sure they're comfortable moving forward.
And so once a contract is moved from the option period, it moves into what we call the pending status. And this is one step closer to the closing. And that's down 11% over last week. And that probably makes more sense because the week before, option period was also down 7%. So you can see how those numbers begin to carry forward as you see the cycle of a contract live itself out. Solds is down 2% to 336. And you know what's really interesting, Jeff? Guess what the median sales price is for solds in the last 7 days?
Ooh, I don't know.
Just a guess.
Dallas County only?
Yep, Dallas County for this data right here.
$1 million.
The median percent of sales price.
Oh, that it 98%.
Actually, it was 100% was the median, and then the average was 99.36. So yeah, that is one of the things that we wanted to bring forward with you and talk about how important it is to price right, because we are seeing things so close to that actual list price. Mortgage rates are hovering at 6.47. And I think it was in January we said that we had heard now 3 economists talk about was probably where everything was going to settle in. And I would say that those economists on that note were right.
Yes, I would agree. It's a really interesting time of year. We're still kind of in that peak selling season, but we haven't really seen the peak inventory come in. I'm wondering if it's just going to be a little later this year, or is this just a year that because of inventory, there's just not going to be as many sales?
It was interesting because Jamie Adler is our office manager, and she has, I don't know, 170 agents just in our office that she's always communicating with, and I think that she had said that it looks like it's going to be a late summer, just with everybody talking about, I've got listings coming on, but they're waiting for their house to be finished, or they're waiting for their lease to be up, so lots of things still in the works. We are ever hopeful that it shows up.
I agree. So let's jump into our property.
Absolutely. This is 533 Woolsey Drive, and this is in Wynwood North, which is in Oak Cliff, Dallas. And this is a tucked away local only neighborhood, and it is so great. It is down just off of that is 30 right there, and it is a really great neighborhood because you can also use Tyler and Hampton to go north and south as well.
And this is probably one of my favorite neighborhoods in Dallas. It's a 1950s, 1960s neighborhood. It was all developed over the course, I say all, 90% of it was developed over the course of just a few years. And I love the style of homes. They're almost all single story homes. You know, the location is incredible to get into downtown. You have access to 35 right there. You can be down on 20. I mean, it's a wonderful location. You are only minutes from a freeway.
The interesting thing too about the Oak Cliff is like there are not a lot of areas in Dallas that have topography. This is one of the few that has beautiful topography, and quite often the soil over there is really stable. Unlike some of the other neighborhoods in Dallas, this is a great soil area. So
we bought a couple of homes in that neighborhood, redone them, and turned around and sold them. Now this was 15 years ago, 20 years ago, but it's always been a very, very active neighborhood. They've got a really strong homeowners association. That we can talk about that in a minute if you want, but let's talk about the shopping center, which is kind of the anchor on the southern side.
And so Wynwood North Shopping Center is a shopping center that's been here in the 60s, I believe is when it came out of the ground. 1949. And it has become an anchor in this. It's kind of gone through its ups and its downs, and it's again tracking in the direction of coming back to life. And we're seeing even on their website here where they're really pitching out that they've got a redevelopment project. And I believe this is where the new Target is going to be located.
Yep, there's going to be a new Target there. There is, what else was, there is a really large LA Fitness over there. This shopping center was actually built before the Wynwood North neighborhood was to serve the neighborhood just to the south of there, which is just called Wynwood.
Yep. You need to go over there and take a look at this. It is one of those upcoming areas. If you know about it, you're already in the know, and it's great. But this is a definite value add. Also, over there is the Dallas Zoo, and the Dallas Zoo has really in the last 10 years, I remember they started pushing like the safari that they were having out there and changing the way that both the animals interacted with each other, but also the way that the participants and viewers were able to. And we learned last year in the Oak Cliff MLS meeting that they actually have a pre-K there on site, but you really have to get ahead of the schedule and get your kids on that early, when they're a bump.
Yeah, if you're planning on having kids in the next 5 years, go ahead and get them on the schedule for it.
Exactly.
So this is the oldest and largest zoo in Texas. It was started in 1888. It was started with 2 deer and 2 mountain lions.
2 deer and 2 mountain lions. I did not know that was the bare minimum to be required a zoo.
I guess in 1888 it might have been. Maybe in 1888 you had to have 1 deer and 1 mountain lion, but they want to start with 2.
There you go. Well, this is a great feature. Also, one of the things that's going to be connecting is going to be the deck bridge. Clyde Warren was so popular. This is going to connect over the highway right there and be right against the zoo as well. So lots of great things happening in this area.
And so one of the other things that is walkable, bikeable from this neighborhood is the Hampton Station. And this is part of the DART rail system. They do have bus lines that connect in there as well, but you can jump on the Hampton rail station and you can go virtually anywhere in the Metroplex. You can go all the way into downtown Fort Worth.
And this rail line is also one of the physical barriers that has really helped insulate this community, and really it defines it as well. And so these are elements that when you begin to kind of look in and discover what has created it, this is one of the big elements that has.
And you can jump on Hampton Station and ride to the zoo. There's a DART rail at the Dallas Zoo.
Is that why you planned it like that?
I didn't know, but I'm looking at the map and I know.
Look at you. All right, well, let's jump into this. 533 Woolsey Drive. As you can see here, this is a really cute house. A 1-story. It has a 2-car detached garage, which really makes it have a nice long driveway. You can't see it here, but I thought it was a really great value add when you have guests that you can help get their cars off of the street.
Really great drive up on this 1951. A really great example of homes in the neighborhood. The the owners have done a lot of the work on this. They have made a few changes to the floor plan, but they were all good changes. They didn't really take away from the character or the charm. And I really love the wood floors. They go throughout, and I think these are almost all original. If they are not, they are done seamlessly.
Yeah, they've done a really great job of using the right size of furniture here as well, because this living room is a really great open space that is at the front of the house, and that it actually will transition into like a larger kitchen and dining room area. One of the things, as Jeff was saying, it's so important for flooring to all be harmonious, because it really is a quick way for buyers to begin to wonder what was done in this house if it doesn't all match.
And they have they're using the space at the back for the dining room, which I'm sure or in the original floor plan was part of that living room. And it's all open to this kitchen. You can see it's got the bar space there with seating for 3, which I think is just incredibly important today. The green glass tile I thought was a really great touch.
So I love that it also has the can lights. And the space in this kitchen, sometimes people really live in a way that the kitchen's being in the middle of the entire living room doesn't quite work. And I like that this has a really good back and forth and fits. One of the things that I absolutely loved is this was a really smart 2 small ovens stacked over each other. So it was basically like having a really big built-in air fryer. It was a really great idea.
It was. The stainless steel appliances, they've got a little island there in the center that shows you, and there really is in that. And other appliances to go.
So we kind of come over here to this eat-in kitchen, and you've kept all of the built-ins right here, which is a really great. This area is off of an outdoor living space that we're going to see in this next picture. We'll go out there and look a little bit more, but this is one of the things that really caught my attention, because it has the ability, when the weather's great, to keep this door open and really enjoy it year-round.
So this is the master bedroom, which is, I love the split bedroom plan on this. So this is the master bedroom on the back of the house, and really great size. That's a king-size bed, and you can see how much space beside those beds there are.
And this was a really smart. These 2 mirrors right here, those are actual medicine cabinets, which is really great when space is tight like this. But they've done a great job of packing it and making it look great.
And this is the bedroom on the opposite side of the house that kind of faces out to the front and the side there. As you can see, windows have been replaced, I think, pretty much throughout the house. A lot of the upgrades that needed to happen were that this bathroom is an original bathroom, but it is white tile, beautifully cared for. I wouldn't have touched it either.
And this is bedroom number 3, and this is a great bedroom, good size, and it's at the front of the house. It also has a little window seat right there. One of the things that they've done smartly with using this is to create a little office. And now we get to go outside.
Now, this home has outdoor space that everyone will want. You can see the pergola there. It is attached into the roof line of the house, done, in my opinion, done perfectly. That's how I would have wanted it done.
And they've also done elements to like give yourself like screening from like the mechanics of the pool equipment right there, as you can see on the left-hand side. When they were designing the pool, they created and centered this hot tub here that also creates a water feature. But there's also 3 steps that run the full distance of this and really create a nice walk down and seating space as well.
You can see that they've got raised bed gardens around different parts of the yard, depending upon which plant you're planting there. I'm sure that one gets probably some really good direct sun during the day, and then begins to get shaded by the fence probably about 5 or 6.
And they've also created larger pads here for the cement and seating, but they did not get rid of all the green grass. So there's green grass here, there's green grass a little further around on the other side, and it's perfect for 4-legged or 2-legged little ones. It works out great. As you can see there, those are the other raised flower beds, and I thought they were such a good concept. This backyard is as livable as any one that we've come across on the show.
I would agree. So this is 533 Woolsey Drive. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage built in 1951, a little over 1,600 square feet, and it's priced at $600,000, which brings it in at $369 a square foot.
Yep, and we want to say thank you so much to Melissa Obrien for allowing us to feature this show. If this is a house that you would like to see, check out the comments. There's a lot more pictures that we didn't use. zoom in on that map, take a look around, and if you'd like to see it, or any house in that area, let us know. We'd be happy to make that happen.
And we'll be right back. Did you know there are a lot of ways you can keep up with us? For starters, every Wednesday at noon, we host Sold with Updike Pew, live from our Facebook and YouTube channels. Our show is dedicated to featuring some of the best homes in the Dallas market and about sharing timely information about market trends. But don't worry if you miss the show, because you can always listen to them on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify.
Still want more? Follow us on Instagram, where you get a first-hand look at what it's like to be a realtor. It's not always previewing homes for clients or getting them ready to go live in MLS. Lastly, visit our website and you'll be able to create a custom home search tailored specifically to your wants and needs that's timely and accurate. Whether it's square foot, location, or the neighborhood, we have you covered.
If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, we can help with that too. Just visit homeprice.fyi, enter a few pieces of information like your home address, and we'll email you a price. When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be realtors for life.
Hi everybody, welcome to second segment, episode 226 of Sold with Updike Pew. I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and today we thought we would take a quick chat about how outdoor spaces come to life.
You know, we've talked about how important outdoor space is to be usable because, you know, the homes are a little smaller. You really need that outdoor space to enjoy the outdoors when we can. You know, you're probably not going to sit out there June 1st through June 30th, or I'm sorry, July 1st through July 30th.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because I felt like 20 years ago, everybody had to have a media room. And that was like the big thing. All houses had to have a media room. And some people still put them in there, and they're beautiful and they're fun and they serve their purpose. But there are more and more people that are finding that outdoor living space is the way to go, because it just adds shade, it adds value of the backyard, another seating area. It works for so many different reasons.
So we have been talking about, Adrian and I have been talking about doing this at his home. And so Weston and I started planning it out. And I'm going to show you a couple of pictures of his backyard before we did anything. It was a cool outdoor space. There were a few things wrong with it. That is a wood deck, which a wood deck can be good, but a wood deck only has a certain amount of life on it, and a wood deck does require maintenance.
And if you're not from Texas, he's referring to the sun is going to wear it out. So it can have rot that can cause issues. If it's not sealed and stained at least every other year on the minimum, power washing at least once or twice a year, depending on what falls, what trees are around. There's just more maintenance to these wooden decks than people really anticipate.
And so as we started talking about the planning and design, we knew that he wanted an outdoor space that would fit a sectional, so he could spend time out there. We could spend time out there watching TV, reading, whatever. It's a great place now for me to go get coffee, hang out. But we also wanted a dining area.
I think that I love the seating areas, especially when you've got the TV and whatnot, but I have to say that our outdoor dining area in the summer is used all the time, because I feel like people come over and they understand it's shorts and it's, casual shirts. Even if you're in the pool, it sets up and it just works out so much easier.
And so we needed a product that, we don't have the expertise to build this from scratch. And so we started doing a little research. And we landed on this Toja grid system. And after we found this one, I started looking at other manufacturers of a similar product. And I found these were the ones that had the thickest steel that they used on them.
Yep. This was actually what we used last year to build 2 trellises at my house. And then going forward, it was just kind of became a perfect segue into creating the pergola with these exact same things. What I really like about the design on these is how thick the sleeve is that receives this, and it creates the perfect 90-degree angles, and you decided that y'all were going to do 6x6 rough cedars, and that is a heavy. When we were doing 10x10s, we did a 12-foot in a couple of spots. Those get a lot heavier, and having that support when it would slide in, and one of us would kind of come down the ladder, hold it up, the other one would move over, slide in the next piece. It wasn't terribly easy, but it was enough that two people could do it.
It was like putting a jigsaw puzzle together. You know how jigsaw puzzle, once you've got the piece in place, it really kind of sticks right there. This Tosia grid system really did that. We did the double system, the two-part, because we wanted to go this 22-foot span, and we knew that we would not be able to get a 22-foot 6x6 piece of rough cedar without it costing, thousands of dollars. So but we didn't want those posts coming down on the house side, and so we started trying to figure out how we were going to do that, and we stumbled upon the Sqft system. And Sqft is really pretty cool because it allows you to go through the roof onto the exterior wall of your home, and it gives you these really great sealed places that are very sturdy.
So they're actually, I was kept calling the saddle because the way that the actual post would lay into those things. And as Jeff was saying, they had really tight socks that come down, and then the way that it allows you to reset the shingles. On Sunday it rained really hard, and I got a text and it said it didn't leak, and I was like, that's really great. And so
I had 3 spots I was looking at with a flashlight. Did that one go? That one go? Is that what okay?
So I like that. I do not like when pergolas attach to the roof line. I think it doesn't quite work out. I think structurally, if you're a pyramid or a slab, given our soil conditions, it can really create havoc. So having this lifted up and off, I thought was smart, and it looks finished. I have to say, Adrian posted the finished products, and I think he had well over 200 likes, and I don't know how many people were commenting on it, but here it is.
So we did this in a day and a half. You can see we got out there and started it. We were putting stuff up by like 8 o'clock in the morning, I think.
It's so funny because I was told that my outfit on day one looked like I belonged in a gay German Broadway production. And I don't know whether to take offense or not. So it was so raining, and we did have to stop.
Yep. So here's day 2. You can tell we're making a little progress there. We drilled all those footings into the concrete slab and tightened it all down. Here's the last little part of that beam going up, and it was interesting. We'd ask Adrian to come out and help us at one point, kind of hold and steady something, but I would say, beyond the 10 minutes that he was out there helping, 2 of us were able to do this.
Yeah, and the only injury we had on this entire thing was a couple splinters, and then I accidentally leaned onto the drill bit for the impact drill and burned myself. And that was it.
And those are sails that we had put up on the roof. They give the sun screening, as you can see right there, how bright the sun is, and he's just hanging out under it. It was very, very cool and comfortable. Let's look at a couple of the after photos here, so here's the first one. I think this was our first after photo.
That's day 2 when you first set it up.
And you can see his furniture fit perfectly in there. We luckily measured that right. He's got plenty of room for his dining room table there, or his outdoor dining table. We're probably going to move those umbrellas. It's really not a need for them now, but they look good in the photography.
They do. They look really great. And then once it got all dressed with all the plants, it really started to come to life.
Yeah, really did. And this was on Sunday. I think we had just power washed all of the deck as much as we could. Power washing is like chasing your tail.
I know.
It's like, turned up a little bit more. So
I think that, like, looking back, the only things that I think that we went and got my table saw,
Yep,
and I should have my chop saw, and it worked. We had to spin 4 times on each post when we had to do a trim. The cement was harder than the original impact drill you bought, and we had to go rent one. And I will say that an impact drill is the best and only thing you should use when you are dealing with cement. I don't think we could have done it any other way.
We first learned about the importance of those when we were doing the project at his house, because the first the first 4 holes we drilled probably took us 10 minutes each hole to do, and then
At
we went
least
through drill bits.
$30 drill bits, and they'd come out like nubbins, red hot.
So we went to Home Depot and rented a impact drill, and
I almost went through the house the first time. I leaned into it like it was like tough, and I was like, oh.
Jason had sitting in the living room.
Like,
let
let me
me
go run around, make sure I didn't go through the house. But anyway, that's a great product, and if you are interested in what all our pros and cons, call Jeff. He'll be happy to help you with that.
We will, and we're not going to do it for you. We'll be happy to tell you everything we know at this point. I think we maybe have built our last pergola.
That was a lot. It wasn't that bad. It was just, I felt nervous the whole time because we were going up, to the very top of the ladders, and you and I are both handling 12-foot beams to the point where one of us is still holding, the other one gets down, moves his ladder 6 feet, and then goes back up. And then we did it, but I was a little anxious there were a couple times, but we did it.
Hope you found this helpful. It was a lot of fun for us. It was a lot of fun to share this with you. If there's any other topics that you'd like for us to talk about or share information on, we'd be happy to do that.
And just remember, we want to be realtors for life.
When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be realtors